Hey Joe, open chords and bits of a first finger exercise. Hello and welcome to beginner video number 13. Today it's the absolute classic Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. And funnily enough, there's even a version where he plays it in standard tuning, because normally he didn't play in standard tuning, he played half a step down. That's linked in the description, so you can play along to that. We're going to start with open chords. 2 weeks ago I showed you C and G. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And also A. But just as a quick recap, if you don't remember those chords, they're here. It's ring finger, middle finger and index finger on the third of the A string, second of the D string and first of the B string. That's your C major chord. And I have delay on, let's turn that off. And then you have G, which normally is played or shown as middle finger on the E string, 3rd fret, first finger on the A string, 2nd fret, and pinky or index finger, ring finger on 3rd string of the 3rd fret of the high E string. What I showed you last time is that you can cheat, you can just leave the second one out. Don't need that note. Cheat if you can. You can even cheat so that you just play the top 3 strings. This is a C and this is a G. Don't sound as full as these, but they'll do the trick. They're a step in the right direction. So let's go to Hey Joe. So those are the chords in Hey Joe along with the intro, and we're not going to focus on the intro. We'll do that maybe later at some point, because that's not really where we're at the moment. We want to do the open chords, the major open chords. So C and G we already have, and that's the first chord is C. Then we have G, and I'll break this down a bit more as we go along. But then we have D. Now that's open D string, 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and 2nd fret on the E string. Getting this might be a bit tricky, because I've told you earlier to mute what you're not playing. So we had where I'm muting, where my fingers are like so. So I only get the 2 strings that I'm actually playing. Now I want you not to mute. So fingers come at the strings from straight up above, so they don't touch any adjacent strings. So D sounds like this. That string is not muted. Whereas if I played it the way I played all the other chords, it would be like... not very good. So come at them from straight up, and you should get something like this. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Intro to that. So we have C, G, D, and then we have A, which I showed you last week, and you can play it the way it's normally shown, which is 2nd fret, 2nd fret, 2nd fret on the D, G and B strings, and an open A string and an open E string. You can play it with these 3 fingers, same thing. Or you can play it as a bar chord with your index finger barring the 2nd frets, but muting the high E string. This string here. So I'm not pressing down on that, but the B string I am pressing down on. This is a bit tricky, so if you don't want to do this, that's fine. So this is C, G, D. Now I noticed I played it with a bar chord. you can play that as a bar chord as well, where the index finger presses down on the 3 thinnest strings, where the ring finger does the 3rd on the B string. Again, might be a bit tricky. A, and then we get to E, which is open low E string, 2nd fret on the B string, 2nd fret on the D, 1st fret on the G string, open B and E. And that goes on for 2 bars, so it's... Wait, 1 bar actually, because it's counted like, yeah. 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars, yeah. It's Friday afternoon. I've been working all week. So, now, when he plays this, there's lots of stuff going on that's not just the chords. There's a rhythmic thing going on. Some fills. Forget about those. You don't want to be doing those. You want to be getting the chord changes on the 1 or the 3, depending upon which chord you're playing. So if you're playing C, that's on the 1. 1, 2. G comes on the 3. Quiet. Forgot my phone over there. So if you're playing the C, that comes on the 1, 1, 2, and then G on the 3, 3, 4. The thing is, if you play it with a backing track, which I recommend you do, the drummer won't wait. If you play it with a band, the drummer won't wait. Get it into the rhythm. If you want to practice it slower, you can slow it down on the YouTube app, or you can slow it down, just play it slower, or you can use a metronome to play it slower. But focus on keeping the time and make those changes a bit faster, because that can be a real pain. And one thing you should be doing, or aiming to do, is to not make a gap between the chords like this. You want the chord changes to be as quick as possible. In the beginning, there will be a gap, probably, for most of you. What I would recommend is that you choose 1 fingering for each chord. Now, I'm doing slightly different fingerings because I've played guitar since I was 11, so at least 10 years, something like that. I'm 46. Before I keep going, I would like to say that this video is very much sponsored by all the good people who support this channel in any way. You can just watch the videos till the end, that's one way. Or if you want to, you can buy me a coffee or send me a super thanks here on YouTube. There's a link in the description to buy me a coffee. A big thank you to everyone who supports the channel. So it doesn't really matter, I can play them whichever way, I can play them like this. But when you're beginning, I remember really being frustrated by chords. So try to have the same fingering for every chord. For 1 chord. So if you elect now in the beginning to do the cheaty chord that I did, the G, without that index finger there, do it every time. Don't do it like this, the next time like this, the next time like this, the next time like this, then like this. Keep it to 1 fingering, that way you will get some muscle memory going. The next thing I would advise you is, if it's tricky to remember where your fingers are supposed to go, try to start with 1 finger. And if it's C or G, those 2, I would start with the bass notes, because that's the more important thing. If you think about the band, there is a drummer, there is a bass player, there is a guitar player, and a singer, might be a keyboard player. The most important band member is the drummer, because that person sets the rhythm. The next person is the bass player, because that person sets the harmony, the key of the whole thing. That person decides that. The guitar player and keyboard player come after that, and then we have the singer who, if it's a good singer, yay! If it's a bad singer, that's the same for all the instruments. So you want the bass note to be there when the chord changes. The higher notes can come after, so think about it like this. So that's like da. That's the way it usually works. There are exceptions, of course. So try to get those bass notes down first. And in the case of, let's say, the E, if you're having trouble with that, put down, this is the way I seem to remember doing it. Put down your index finger first and then work everything else in. You'll get faster at it until you get to the point where it's just simultaneous. Like so. So one more time, and then when you're playing along to the track, just do. If that's too much, just do. Whoops, forgot the C. And if you notice mistakes, like an extra string ringing out, you're fretting something a bit off, don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. It's not going to sound perfect. Just make sure that it sounds better every time you play it. Just a tiny bit better, and you will get better and then you'll get worse. That's just the way it works. But in the grand scheme of things, see to it that you're moving in the right direction. Take comfort from knowing that you're doing that. And I can't say when, but if you practice the right way, and if you haven't watched the first videos on this channel, the first beginner videos, I talk about how to practice the right way. Watch those. If you practice the right way, you will see results. So, the chords are C, then we get to the finger exercise, which is a part of the song actually. It's this bit. You could play this many ways. You could play it all with downstrokes. And if you notice, I'm muting things again when I'm playing like exaggerated stuff. Always mute, unless you're not supposed to mute. But you can play this more, shall we say, in a more refined way, so you don't have to mute. And that's what I want you to start doing as well. So I'm playing this down, up, down, up. It's called alternate picking. We did a bit of that in an earlier video. So this is C on the A string, 3rd fret. Then you go to the open E, 1st fret, 2nd, 3rd. Change string to the A string, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th, 5th, and you go back to the E string, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, back to the A string, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. And there you have the E chord. It's basically the same thing as the chords. So try playing that, down, up, down, up, down. And try playing it so that you have 1 fret per finger. I start with the ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, open E string, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, pinky. And try to keep it so that it's 1 fret per finger. And then, so that you don't play it like something like that. Just try to keep it. Like I said, if you haven't watched this series from the beginning, do that. There's a playlist here where it starts from the beginning. I do hope you consider supporting the channel. But above all, I hope you had some use of this video, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Take care. See you. Goodbye.